This was me 3.5 years ago, before Cymbalta. This was me 2.5 years ago, while on Cymbalta. I felt pretty good. It was great. This was me, smiling, happy, with my kids and my loved ones. I was content, energetic. It was great. Now we're going to go over here. Hi. This is me withdrawing from Cymbalta. My name's Kat, by the way. And I'm 37 years old, single mom of 3 beautiful children. And I'm living a nightmare right now. So I'll try to start and do this as quickly as possible. I've been on well over a dozen antidepressants, anti-anxieties, medications in the past 13 years for PTSD, depression, anxiety, OCD, and about 4 years ago, doctors talked me into going on this medication called Cymbalta. It's great. It'll help you. And they raved about it. I saw commercials, you know, feeling depressed, Cymbalta can help. You want that cloud lifted off your head. You want that rain cloud, that constant feeling of sadness and hopelessness. Those commercials with the holes and the clouds, you want those to go away. And hey, a doctor is telling you, oh, these medications are safe. They're fine. Try it. Okay? So my doctor has got me all the way up to 120 milligrams of Cymbalta a day. And it didn't seem to be doing what it was supposed to be doing. I still felt that rain cloud. I still felt that sadness. Just like I did on all the other antidepressants that they tried me on. You know, and I started to think maybe I am that small percentage of people that antidepressants just don't work for. I have to find another way. I have to do it through, you know, with the therapy and just maybe relaxation techniques and you know, exercise. I love to exercise. So maybe I'd have to do it that way. So I went to my doctors, and I told my doctor that I wanted to get off the Cymbalta. And this was in April of 2010. My doctors proceeded to tell me that if I tried to wean myself off the Cymbalta, they were going to call Department of Human Services and have me a report written up for child endangerment, because I was endangering my children's welfare because I needed to be on this medication so badly. I'm not joking. This is what they told me. And I went to my counselor crying. I'm like, what am I going to do? And he helped me find a psych nurse that was willing to say, you know what, you're not endangering your children for wanting to be off this medication. And so I started working with her, and we were withdrawing from the Cymbalta the right way. And I went down to 90 milligrams, to 60 milligrams, to 30. Well, you know, after 30, most people who are on Cymbalta know that they don't make anything lower than 30s. And so after the 30, I was done. And the first couple of days was okay. It wasn't bad. And then all of a sudden, I got sick. I got nauseous. My head started spinning. The vertigo and the dizziness, the concentration level was gone. I couldn't put my words together right. And, you know, I knew what I wanted to say, I just couldn't get it out. And I went through that for months. And I called up my doctors because I had no idea what was going on, and I told them, this is my primary doctor now, not my psych nurse, that I think I was having withdrawal symptoms. And this is what they told me. Well, you're the one who withdrew from this medication. Either you can deal with the withdrawal symptoms, or you can go back on the medication. Well, needless to say, I didn't go back on the medication. And I was able to cope with it. And I coped, and I still worked. And not very well, and not very often. But I still worked. And then I couldn't work anymore. Because it didn't seem to go away. It seemed to actually start to get worse. Especially the more my anxiety would act up. The worse the vertigo and the dizziness and the nausea would get. To the point that I was pretty much stuck in a chair. And I went to my doctors, and they started taking me through all these tests. You know, blood tests. I had a hearing test done. I had a vertigo test done. And all of them kept coming up inconclusive. So they're like, well, maybe we should put you on, you know, another antidepressant. Let's put you on Prestige. No, thank you. No. Oh, but it's not for depression. It actually will help with the brain chemistry to make everything level out. And it'll help with the vertigo. Are you sure? Yeah. But then last November, October, November, I started getting these horrible, debilitating headaches. And it wasn't getting any better. And I was under a lot of stress. My body, I hold the stress very hard in my neck and my face. I'm a clencher. So I started going to ER, and they started giving me more medications and injecting me, and the doctors and a neurologist. Let's give you these medications. Let's put you on Prozac, amitriptyline. But it wasn't working. I still wasn't sleeping. I wasn't doing anything. I wasn't functioning. And I'm like, why you... But instead of stopping them, they kept raising the doses. And I'm like, but they're not working. If anything, they're making it worse. They even tried Thorazine to try to help me go to sleep. And it didn't work. And so finally I'm like, you know what? I'm done being a guinea pig. No more. And I went and I found this facial pain specialist. He's a dentist. And he started doing these things called trigger point injections, where you take a little needle, and it's sort of like acupuncture, but they don't stay in that long. And the headache started going away because the muscles were relaxing. The vertigo wasn't as much, but the headache started going away. But I was also having severe joint pain because I have degenerative joint disease. So foolishly, in December, they talked me into going back on Cymbalta. A low-dose Cymbalta will help with the joint pain and the muscle aches. Cymbalta can help. Remember, that's what the commercials say. You got joint pain, Cymbalta can help. You got that cloud over your head, Cymbalta can help. And I was just in so much pain that I decided, okay, alright, low dose, 30 milligrams, alright, that's fine. And then my mother had been sick, and we find out that she wasn't just sick, she actually had lung cancer that went into her brain, because she was misdiagnosed for a couple of years. And so it got worse. So they're like, well, let's just put you up to 60 milligrams and see if that'll help calm everything down. And, you know, at that point in time, it was all about my mom. I had to take care of my mother. So I agreed. And my mom lived with me for 3 months, and all I did was take care of her and my children. My issues were nothing compared to what she was going through. And then they wanted to put me up to 90 milligrams. And I'm like, no, I want to be at 60. I think I want to get off it actually. But I have to take care of my mom first. On April 4th, she passed away. In my arms, of brain cancer. In my home. So, needless to say, lots of anxiety, lots of stress, depression, you know, the loss of my parent. So I decided, you know what, Cymbalta isn't working for my muscle aches. It's not. I'm done. I want off all these medications. I don't want to be on anymore because I don't know where, if I'm coming or going anymore. So I started weaning myself down to the 30, and then I got to the 30 again, and I'm like, okay, maybe it'll be different this time because I was only on it for a few months at a low dose. It went okay for about 5 days, and then all of a sudden, these brain zaps, I found out that's what they call them, occurred. The nausea, the vertigo. It was like someone put me on this roller coaster ride, and there's no real way how to explain what this feels like except for you get that ringing in your ears, and then for like a second, all of a sudden it intensifies like 100 times, and it's like, woof, and then your eyes shift, and it feels like your brain is shaking. It feels like someone is shaking my brain. And I got like this cloudy film over my entire body, and I can't function. I can't concentrate. I can't get my words together right. And I'm nauseous, and my chest hurts. I feel horrible. And I miss the person that I was in those pictures 2 or 3 years ago. I know she's still in there. I'm just so scared that I'm never going to see her again. And I'm not saying that, you know, maybe my other health issues are not, you know, adding to this. But all I do know is that before I was put on this medication, I was physically healthy. I was not physically healthy, but I was healthier than I am now. All I know that is within 2 years, I feel like I'm this shell. I'm not who I used to be. I don't even know who I am anymore. And I really wish that these doctors would have told me before. Well, you know, where you have had all these other antidepressants, I think you should know that this one might not work, and there are severe withdrawal symptoms from this medication. It's been 2 years and I still felt it. Worse when my anxiety is up. And I don't know what to do. I am so lost. I will not get myself back onto the 30 milligrams. I've actually gone to the point of splitting the capsules in half, and then splitting it in half again. And now I'm down to counting the granules. And I'm down to 20 granules. And I'm getting the brain zaps. And the nausea. And my head feels like it weighs 20 pounds. And I have no energy. But I can't sleep either. I really miss the person that I was in those pictures. I miss running around with my kids and holding conversations and having a job. I miss me. And I'm not saying that antidepressants don't work. Don't take them. Because maybe it does for some people. It just doesn't for me. What I am saying is that these pharmaceutical companies have to be held responsible for at least letting the public know what these withdrawals and discontinuation symptoms are. So you have the right to decide, do I want to do this or not? Is my depression really bad enough? Am I suicidal? I wasn't. I was sad. But these doctors told me, this will make you better. Yeah, I want to be better. I want to feel normal. I don't anymore. I feel even less normal than I did. If anything, this drug company, Eli Lilly, the makers of Cymbalta, they need to come up with some sort of withdrawal pack, like a teetering pack. That not something that you have to do, that I have to measure out how much I'm getting, and then start counting granules when you already don't feel good. They need to come up with a packaging that will withdraw you from a 30 milligrams down over a period of time. I don't even know how long. I don't know, because no one will tell me. What I do know is that they need to come up with it. And I just hope that no one else has to keep going through what I go through on a daily basis. Because it really sucks. And if anybody sees this video, maybe it'll help one person to know that they're not alone. Because there are a lot of people out there that are going through this, and it's mainly due to Cymbalta. Cymbalta is one of the hardest antidepressants to get off of. And like I said, I've been on a lot. It is one of the hardest ones to get off of. Please take care, and I hope nobody ever has to go through what I go through.